All right. I was thinking about resentment, and something popped in my mind. I was like cleaning, which means I was just moving stuff from one corner to another corner. I moved a bunch of like old knitting stuff. I used to love knitting. Um, I had a bunch of different jobs at the time where I did a lot of sitting and talking, and didn't have anything for my hands to do, so I knit. And people would always see me and and comment on my knitting, and so like these aren't people I even really know. They're people I'm familiar with, acquaintances, and eventually enough people kept talking to me about knitting, and some people bring their knitting in and show, and other people like shared their yarn that they weren't going to use after all, and that I started like thinking like I knew a fairly large amount of knitters, and I invited everybody over to my house for a knitting party. I had this really nice big living room at this place I was renting, and tons of people showed up. It was 99% girls, and it was kind of interesting. Like, we had a blast, and I believe we did it for a couple times at my house, and I supplied food and drinks, like 2 gigantic bottles of wine that always got emptied right away. And at one point in time, someone said we should do this at my house. We should do this at my house like next time or something. And I said, oh, that would be kind of fun if like people wanted to have like kind of a traveling knitting party. Like we'll we can meet at my house start of the month, and end of the month meet at someone else's house, and just keep on mixing it up. This guy's paranoid about securing the stuff in the back of his truck. He decided to fix it in the middle of the road instead of like pulling off to the side. I don't want to inconvenience myself. Actually, I'm gonna not be behind him actually now. And I didn't hear anything about it actually. And I'd see some of these girls or something, they'd bring in a new scarf or something like that, and I'm like, man, that's amazing. Hey, we should do that. We should get together again and do another knitting party. And I got kind of some weird looks from a couple people, and then this one girl that she was really, really quiet. So I didn't really get any kind of sense of her personality at all, really, other than she was like kind of nice and sweet and very hesitant. She came to me and said, can we have knitting night again at your house? The other knitting nights aren't working out. And I'm like, other knitting nights? She's like, yeah, we all get together at each other's houses a couple times a month, and we mix it up and go to different houses. And I'm like, yeah, that was my suggestion when we were all meeting at my house. Like, you guys have been meeting at other houses? And she's like, yeah, and it's just not working out. People aren't doing it. They're bailing the last minute, like the people hosting it. So like a ton of people are getting together, and then we end up going to a bar or something like that. And I don't know how long this video is, but I was filled with resentment. I was like, I haven't been invited to any of these get-togethers. She's like, oh yeah, it was just us girls. And I'm like, so pretty much just everybody that was at my house, just the girls? Like, so basically I was just excluded because I was the guy, even though I was inviting all you guys over to my house and providing food and drinks, and I always stop my projects and help you with anybody who was like just learning. And which was when I said it got a little weird sometimes, that the people who seemed to know the most about knitting were really not about sharing their knowledge. Or like once they were knitting, really, it was like, shut the fuck up. Like, don't interfere with their count. That's probably what it was. They're doing complex knitting, and so it involves a lot of focus. And if you lose track of your count, you can't go back and fix that stuff after a couple months. And so I'm like, I'm not sure what I said, but I was pretty snarky about it. And I'm like, well, sounds like you guys wanted to like you wanted to do what you were doing at my house, but you just didn't want to invite me. And now it sounds like you guys are kind of flaking out on each other. And now suddenly I don't seem like that's such a bad idea. And she was like nodding her head. And I'm like, fuck you. You know, I was like, and I realized like I didn't know these people very well, and they might have known each other better, but I don't actually think so. I think they were just doing a girl bonding thing. And I could tell right away, even at my own house, that a lot of them weren't actually clicking very well. And I don't know, like, so I was so resentful. I said no to this one girl, but I was basically saying no to all these people that I'd met and had over to my house. Like, because I didn't talk to all of them. I just talked to this one. It was the last I ever heard of it. And I was just thinking about that, you know? It's like, what did I want? You know, did I want a room full of good buddies, people that I really clicked with and, you know, agreed with their decision making and their ability to be social and reciprocate, things like that, or did I just want to hang out and knit with some people? Like if I'd met like at a knitting barn, like where you just kind of show up every Saturday, and different people come and knit, and sometimes you recognize people and sometimes you don't recognize people, like it'd be the same thing. Like I'm not there to make buddies, you know. I'm there to enjoy the craft. And like you'd be exposed to like different people's ideas and techniques and stuff like that. But like it was just the social. I felt socially rejected, even though it was just in my mind now I'm like it was just because I was a guy and they wanted to do girl stuff. Like they were excited. You know, like what's that Pitch Perfect? You know, like sometimes girls get together and they think something special's forming. I've seen this before, and I've seen it a little bit with guys, but I've seen it a lot with girls. But you know, there you go. Like my sense of rejection. That wasn't. I mean, like, it's like so what? Like I missed some hanging out, and probably it would have been interesting to see if the people I liked the least, were the ones that didn't show up anymore. Like they're the ones that had people over to their house and decided like, you know what, like I'm not feeling it, you know, because they're the ones that actually felt that, I don't know, but I'm guessing the ones that hosted at their house were the ones that were like upper level, kind of shut down socially, and visibly disturbed if you ask them for help while they're in the middle of their project. All right, there you go. Resentment, probably not a good idea.